So first what I did was I cut out all the pieces to make the bag, and you're going to need at least 3 or 4 sheets of A4 sized brown felt to do this. And by the way, I got this coloured felt from Hobbycraft, and I think the colour is called Cashmere, and I'm pretty sure you can also find it online as well, or you can just type in light brown felt on Amazon or eBay, for example, and something should come up. So what you want to do is you just want to leave 2 sheets of felt as they are, like this. This is going to be the front and the back of the bag. And then what you want to do is you want to create the bottom part of the bag. So what you want to do is you just want to take one of the full-sized sheets and you just want to place it onto another piece of felt like this. And then you just want to mark that off with a pen, and also do the same thing for the other side as well. And then you just want to draw 2 like diagonal lines on both sides, just using a pen. And then you just want to cut that out with your scissors. So that's going to be the bottom part of the bag. And then what you want to do is you want to take some more of the felt and you want to cut out 4 strips like this, and make sure that they're all the same length as one side of the bag, like this. And I recommend using a ruler to do this. And I just made each strip the same size as the ruler, as you can see. So that's basically how big you want them. And then you just want to cut each strip out separately, and then you just want to place each strip together and then cut each one at a slight angle, so that way they're all the same. So I just place them on top of each other one by one, and then just cut off some of the felt at an angle. Hopefully this is making sense. And by the way, I learnt how to do this from a trim video, so I'll also link that video below in the description box, so you can go and follow that if you want to. But they explained it in a much quicker way than this, so yeah. But hopefully this is making sense. So now on to the next step. So next what you want to do is you want to start gluing the bag together. And I recommend using a pretty strong glue for this, and I'm just using this all-purpose glue. So what you want to do is you want to take both of the A4 pieces of felt and you want to glue them to both sides of the bottom part of the bag, basically like this. So you just want to add some glue here and here, so it should look like this. So that's what that should look like. And then for the 4 strips of felt, you want to just glue them down the centre like this. So just take 2 pieces and just stick them together down the centre. And they should be in a triangle shape at the bottom. And these are going to be glued onto the sides of the bag. So now on to the next step. So next what you want to do is you want to glue the strips onto the sides of the bag just using some more strong glue. And as you can see, I've already done that for this side. So I'm just going to explain as best as I can how to do this. So what you want to do is you want to add some strips of glue onto both sides of the strips. And then you just want to take one side and glue it onto the bag like this. And then you also want to line it up with the bottom part of the bag. So I'll just try and show you here. So it should line up with this little triangle here. And then you also want to secure that with some more glue just here and here. And then you just want to join the other side of the bag to the strip just using some more glue. So I would do this on camera, but this part can be quite fiddly, so I'm going to be doing it off camera. But hopefully I've explained it well enough. So I'm just going to do that and then I will be right back. So here is what the bag looks like once I've finished gluing it all together. So here is what the sides look like. And it's okay if it looks a little bit messy, since it's supposed to be a paper bag. It's okay if it looks a little bit messy. And here's what the bottom part looks like. And it should also be able to stand on its own as well. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. And some of the glue did end up getting on the front and the other side of the bag, but that's okay since we're going to be painting on the designs later. So now that you have the bag ready, we can move on to the next step. So next what you want to do is you want to start painting on the designs on the front of the bag. And as you can see, I have already done this and it is already dry as well. And I really recommend looking at a picture of a Burger King paper bag as reference. So you want to paint on 4 stripes using green, red, brown, and then I just used white and a tiny bit of yellow paint for this stripe. So it's basically a very light yellow colour. And you can also use a ruler and a pen to draw out the lines first if you want to. Mine aren't completely perfect, but I'm still really happy with it. And then what I did was I painted on the Burger King logo just using my brown puffy paint. And I just used a really thin paintbrush to do this. And then I just used a lighter brown colour for the highlights on the logo. And again, I just used the image as reference. So that's what the front of the bag looks like. And then once the front of the bag is completely dry, it must be completely dry before moving on to the next step. Next, what you want to do is you just want to paint the stripes on the sides of the bag as well. just using the exact same colours, of course. And again, you can use a ruler and a pen to draw them out first if you want to. But I just painted mine on straight away. And then for the other side of the bag, you want to paint on the words Burger King, just using your brown puffy paint. Just in really bold letters. And I painted mine on by hand and just fixed it up using a thin paintbrush. Or you can use a stencil if you want to. That's what I'm going to be using for the other side of the bag. And then once you've done that for the sides of the bag, you want to let both sides completely dry before moving on to the back. And mine are completely dry already, so now I can move on to the next step. So now for the back of the bag, next what you want to do is you want to print out the word flavour onto an A4 piece of paper. And it should look something like this. And I just did this on Word document. And the style of the text is called Arial Black. Hopefully I said that right. And make sure that the size of the text is 120, or at least 120, so that way it will fit on the back of the bag. And by the way, you do not have to print out the word if you don't want to. You can draw it out by hand or write it if you want to. And now on to the next step. So next what you want to do is you want to cut out the word that you just printed out, and you want to glue it onto a piece of card so that way it will be a little bit more sturdy. And then you just want to cut out each letter individually, just using a craft knife or your scissors. And they don't have to be completely neat because you can just neaten it up with a paintbrush. Once you start painting it onto the bag, of course. And then you just want to cut it out again with your scissors so that you have something like this. And also I almost forgot to mention that you also want to do that for the other parts of the text that are on the bag. So you just want to use the exact same style of text to do this. Or you can write it or draw it out if you want to. You don't have to print it out like I did. So now you should have your two stencils ready. So I know mine look a bit messy, it's because I'm not the best at cutting out stencils, but this is good enough. So now on to the next step. So once you have your two stencils ready, next what you want to do is you want to paint on the letters onto the back of the bag. And you just want to use basically the same colours of paint that you use for the stripes on the other side. And I recommend using some foam brushes for this, and then just neaten up the letters with a small paintbrush. And then for the fourth one that you've painted, you also want to paint on the Burger King logo again. And I'm just using this image here for help. And also, again, please don't forget to place a piece of cardboard inside the bag so that way the paint doesn't bleed through to the other side. And then for some of the letters I ended up painting them on by hand. So for example, the A, the O and the B, because I needed to add in the extra bits, if that makes any sense. And I know it doesn't look completely accurate and I did mess up a few times, but I still think this looks pretty good. So not all of the letters are completely neat, but this is the best I can do. So now you just want to let this completely dry and then your bag will be done. So here is what the final bag looks like. And I'm especially happy with how the front of the bag turned out. And I'm also pretty happy with how the letters turned out on the side as well. I think I made them a little bit too big, but that's okay. And also I probably could have done a better job on the back because, again, like I said, I did mess up a few times, but still I'm pretty happy with it. And again, I know it's not completely accurate to the real Burger King paper bag, and I did miss out a few of the other details, but still I think this is really close to it, or pretty close to the real thing. And I hope this tutorial was easy enough to understand. I did try my best to explain it. So, yep, that's what the bag looks like. So, yep, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And again, I hope it was easy enough to understand. And also please stay tuned for part 2 because I am going to be making some Burger King squishies to go inside the bag, which I'm really excited about because I want to make it basically the same way that I made my McDonald squishies. I want to make an entire set to go in here. So yeah, please stay tuned for part 2. And I really hope you enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.